The story of the birth of Moses is found in Exodus chapter 2 in the Bible. Here's a full recounting of this dramatic and miraculous beginning to his life. The Israelites in Egypt. Many years after Joseph brought his family to Egypt, the Israelites had grown into a large population in the land of Goshen. This growth alarmed a new Pharaoh, who did not remember Joseph and saw the Israelites as a potential threat. To control the population, Pharaoh enslaved the Israelites, subjecting them to brutal labor. Despite these hardships, the Israelites continued to grow in number, which further worried Pharaoh. In a drastic attempt to reduce the Israelite population, Pharaoh ordered the Hebrew midwives to kill all newborn Hebrew boys at birth. However, the midwives, fearing God, disobeyed and allowed the boys to live. Pharaoh then commanded that every Hebrew baby boy be thrown into the Nile River. The birth and hiding of Moses. During this time of oppression, a Levite man named Amram and his wife, Jochebed, had a baby boy. When Jochebed saw her son, she recognized that he was special and beautiful, and she was determined to save him. For 3 months, she hid the baby, defying Pharaoh's command. But as he grew, it became harder to keep him hidden, and Jochebed knew she had to take drastic action to protect him. Placing Moses in the Nile. In a desperate and creative plan, Jochebed prepared a basket made of papyrus reeds, waterproofing it with tar and pitch to ensure it would float. She placed her baby in the basket and set it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile River. This was a risky move, but Jochebed hoped the basket would keep her baby safe, trusting that God would protect him. Moses' older sister, Miriam, watched from a distance to see what would happen to her baby brother. She stayed close by, ready to act if necessary. Pharaoh's daughter finds the baby as God would have it. Pharaoh's daughter came to the Nile to bathe, accompanied by her attendants. She noticed the basket among the reeds and sent one of her servants to retrieve it. When she opened the basket, she found the crying baby. Moved with compassion, she immediately recognized that this was one of the Hebrew children. Despite her father's decree to kill Hebrew baby boys, Pharaoh's daughter decided to save the baby. Miriam, who had been watching nearby, saw an opportunity. She approached Pharaoh's daughter and bravely suggested, "Shall I go and call a nurse from the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter agreed, and Miriam fetched her own mother, Jochebed. Jochebed nurses Moses. Pharaoh's daughter instructed Jochebed to nurse the child and even offered to pay her wages. In an extraordinary turn of events, Jochebed was able to care for her own son and raise him during his early years, with Pharaoh's daughter providing protection. When the child was old enough, Jochebed brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her son. She named him Moses, meaning drawn out of the water, because she had pulled him from the Nile. Moses' early life in Pharaoh's household. Moses grew up in Pharaoh's palace, raised as Egyptian royalty but also with the knowledge of his Hebrew heritage. Though he lived among the Egyptians, Moses' early years with his mother likely gave him a strong connection to his people, the Hebrews. This background would shape his identity and eventually lead him to become a key figure in their liberation from slavery. The birth and early years of Moses reveal a story of courage, compassion, and divine intervention. Despite the danger, Jochebed's determination to save her son, Miriam's bravery, and Pharaoh's daughter's compassion were all instrumental in preserving Moses' life. This providential beginning set the stage for Moses to become one of the greatest leaders and prophets in the Bible, eventually leading the Israelites out of Egypt and toward the Promised Land.